Hello and welcome back to Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and today we're going to have a day out inside the park, but we've got a special guest with us, and it's Stephen from Walk on the Wild Side, and he hasn't been in the Pleasure Beach for many years. That's sacrilege. How many years is it, Stephen?
Well, it must be about, I don't know, it must be the better part of 20 years since I've been in the Pleasure Beach. I did a video a few weeks ago saying that I've not been in Blackpool Pleasure Beach for so long, and I really need to get back out there, and I put a call out for someone. Maybe someone could join me, and Darren kindly offered to join us in the Pleasure Beach, so I'm going to be heading in there for the first time in all that, all that time, and I'm so excited. Yeah.
So yeah, I replied to the message and I said, I'm coming up soon, we need to get in there. So let's head inside and see what Stephen thinks of the Pleasure Beach in 20 years of changes. So we're in the park, we've got in, and you have been in here before, only on the flying machines though, haven't you, for an event? But you hasn't been in the park to go on all the rides for 20 years.
No, that long, yeah.
So I think what we're going to do, because it's one of Stephen's favourite wooden roller coasters, the Grand National, I think we're going to head on there first and get his opinion afterwards, what he thinks of it and has it changed. So let's head on the Grand National. So we've just done the Grand National, and I've got to say, I really enjoyed that ride on it. When I came on it maybe a year ago, it was quite brutal, and I remember thinking, I'm done with that ride, but I went on it earlier this year after they've done some retracking, and it was a lot smoother, and it's definitely just as good now. What did you think, Stephen?
You know what, that was absolutely awesome. The first ride that we've come on in the Pleasure Beach, and I don't think we could have done much better than to go on the Grand National. It's such a unique ride, a very old ride as well, and got some very unique dips on it and that sort of thing. Throws you out of your seat when you go over the hill. It's just a little bit rough, yeah, a little bit rough.
Raucous, we'll call it raucous.
My knees might be suffering a bit, but there you go, it's worth it.
And it's one of very few Mobius loop roller coasters in the world, which means that it's one single track that goes around twice. So when you get on the Grand National, you will come back in on the opposite side. But that's rare, and it's also the only racing coaster in the UK currently. So we're making our way around to Ice Blast, which is a ride that I don't go on often because it doesn't do much, but Stephen hasn't been on it for a long time, so we'd have to go on everything today. So let's head on Ice Blast.
I've not been on it since it was called the PlayStation.
Oh wow, that is a while ago.
Yeah.
So let's head on and see what we think. So that's the Ice Blast done, or formerly known as the PlayStation. Who remembers that? Opened in 1997 from what I remember, and Boyzone opened it. Valhalla looks like it's getting ready to open, but it's not open yet, so I think it does open later on, maybe 12:01. But we will come back for that. We've got rain capes in my bag, haven't we, Stephen?
I'm getting excited.
And then we will get on the flying machines. We're going to basically, look how quiet it is today. It's really quiet. It is a Monday, but the weather is really good. So hopefully we'll get on everything in the park today. What we're going to go on next, I have no idea, but we'll figure it out. So I've just switched to the phone because I'm getting the GoPro in and out of the bag every 2 minutes, and it's getting annoying. So I've switched to the phone because the phone's out anyway. Now, we've just been on the Hiram Maxim's flying machines, which opened in 1904, which is one of the oldest rides in Europe. And we're about to head on to one of my old favourites, Alice in Wonderland. Stephen's not been on this for donkey's years. So we're going to head on that, see if it's changed much since he went on it. I don't think it has. It's been the same since I was a kid. Then we're going to make our way over to the south side of the park and hopefully get on some of the bigger rides like Icon and the big one. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing Stephen's reaction on. Yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful day today. It was forecasted to be not so great, but the sun's out, it's warm, there's no wind. Yeah, it's lovely so far, fingers crossed. Sat with a Mad Hatter. That ride is definitely very trippy.
Very trippy that, yeah.
Rumours that it was written as an acid trip or something by Lewis Carroll. I can believe that. Yeah, that is one hell of a trippy ride. Alice in Wonderland. So apparently Lewis Carroll, when he wrote the story, it was about an acid trip, and it's turned into a kid's story these days. But you can kind of see that when you get in there and you see the references. I mean, the movies are bizarre anyway. But anyway, I think we're going to go on the Ghost Train now. One of my old favourite dark rides here at the Pleasure Beach. Again, still as it was all those years ago.
On the Ghost Train, if you're like me when I was dead young, you would be scared.
I still love the Ghost Train. It's so retro. I love it. But I do agree with what Stephen says. Alice in Wonderland is definitely scarier than the Ghost Train. It's so strange that. But I love both of them. They're just classics. We're gonna head on the river caves. Which again is another classic dark ride here at the Pleasure Beach. I love these classic rides. But the last time you saw me here was at Halloween last year when we did Freak Nights. And we were on the river caves in the dark, which was quite a different experience. But anyway, it's like I said, it's a classic ride. Stephen's not been on it for years. This is the second oldest ride at the Pleasure Beach, opening in 1905. That's the river caves done. And I've got to say, at one point I thought we were going on Valhalla, because they were hoovering the water out of the boat in there, and when we came down the drop we actually got a bit of a splash, which I've never done on there, so it's like Valhalla 2. Anyway, we're heading up the ramp over Watson Road, which is heading into the south side of the park now, where all the big rides are, and we're going to head on something a bit more extreme than the dark rides. I want to see what Stephen thinks of Icon, since he's never been on it yet. And while we're here on park today, it's worth a mention. Big Dipper is 100 years old now. So in August it reached 100 years old. If you remember when we came here for the Hidden Secrets series, we walked up the lift hill and up there on the Big Dipper. And I remember saying 2 years ago that it was going to be 100 soon. Well, it is now, which is hard to believe. I mean, it still looks new. Does it ride new? That's the question. I've not been on it for a while. And that's the Big Dipper tick. And I've got to say, that is definitely smoother than what I remembered it last year. Definitely. They've done a lot of track work on it because it is 100 years old. So it's definitely riding a lot better. I mean, we weren't on a wheel seat, which helps. So we're going to head down to Icon now, which is just behind the camera, because Stephen hasn't been on this ride yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing his reaction. I love seeing people's first time reactions on rides. So I'll get to see it on here, but that's probably about it. And probably Wallace and Gromit, because I think he's been on everything at some point. He even said he's been on Infusion, the blue one behind, when it was at Southport Pleasureland all them years ago. But I've not seen the big one running round yet, so I'm getting a bit worried about that. It seems to be off because of the wind maybe. And Avalanche has got some technicians, you just see behind me, working on the brake run there. So I've got a feeling that may be out today as well. But we'll find out. I mean, it is really quiet today. Stephen eyeing up Icon. What do you think?
Well, I'm getting really excited about this one because I like these kind of accelerator rides, but accelerate, yeah. And I've heard that this one goes around and then it accelerates even faster or something like that, and you go upside down as well. It's going to be the first time we've been upside down, so that'll be something, yeah.
Yeah, 2 separate launches on this. Let's head round then. I don't think we're going to be getting Avalanche today, Stephen. They've got technicians on the brake run here. Well, here we go. Heading on Icon. You looking forward to it, Stephen?
This is the one that I'm looking forward to the most, I think, really, yeah.
He loves launch roller coasters, so let's give it a whirl. There's no queue, we're literally walking straight into the building, so let's go for it. going for the front row. Stephen's first time, why not? We need to get a good seat, so we're going to sit right at the front, and then we'll come back later and try in the back. We're literally one train away, and then we'll be on. I'm so excited to see his reaction. So we braved Icon, front row, best seat in my opinion. What did you think, Stephen?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, Icon. I've been waiting to go on that ride for so long, and I'm very, very impressed. It really throws you out of the seat on that hill there. That first hill is unbelievable. The air is amazing.
It's a really good ride. I mean, it's not my favourite in the UK, but it's up there. Probably top 2, top 3. But I'm glad. I loved hearing Stephen scream all the way around. It's like first time you hear somebody on a ride, it's just pleasurable to hear them enjoy it as well. Now, I've just heard the big one going up the lift hill, as you can see there, right at the top. So that's good news. That means we're going to get on the big one today. It's going to be very blustery up there, but we'll give it a go anyway. So let's head out this way, and we're going to come back later to do Icon. We'll go on the back row later on. We're heading straight onto the big one, since we've just seen it running round, because the wind is a bit temperamental today. 1 minute it's up, 1 minute it's down. So this could close at any point, so we want to get on it before it does, or if it does. I mean, the wind may die down, but we're heading straight up now. And also, Stephen's not been on this. He has been on it before, but he's not been on this for 20 years, he says. So it'd be nice to get another reaction on here, especially since all the retracking work that they've done on the ride as well, which has changed it slightly, just certain bits. But anyway, not a massive queue in here, quite small actually. Probably 5 minutes. So that's the big one done, we got on it. It was a bit breezy at the top, but it made it round fine. They put the fast train on, which has got faster wheel compounds apparently, and it absolutely hauled around that track. It was really fast. I've never felt it that fast in a long time. But I've got to say, it was very different, wasn't it? We had a bit of airtime on it, it was smooth, it wasn't too bad at all. I was impressed.
Yeah, I remember going on the big one when it was around about the time it first opened, and I don't remember it having so much airtime as what it, and compared to some of the other roller coasters that Arrow built around that time, it didn't seem to have the same airtime, but this time, I'm really impressed. There did seem to be quite a lot of airtime. It was really amazing.
It was really good, and yeah, I think we may have another go later on, but bless her, there's a girl just in there. It was her first time on the big one, and she was absolutely terrified. She doesn't do big rides, and bless her, she was sat in front and she was petrified going up, but then after the first drop, the hands went in the air and they enjoyed every minute of it. So I was actually proud of her sat in front of me. So we've got to get an opinion of the lovely rider who sat in front of me on the big one. Absolutely terrified. What's your name?
Natasha.
Natasha, what did you think of it?
It was great. It was so good. I mean, I had my eyes closed going up, and then he goes, "You're up halfway," and I'm like, no, I want to turn back now. But it was so good. I had my eyes open. You could see all out the pier and the beach. So it was really good.
But you were doing a good job of calming her down.
Yeah. Well, I have to.
Hold in hand.
He was calming her down.
Slapping my leg, and I was like, "You heard me."
After the first drop, he said, "Get your hands up."
Yeah, they were up.
That was it.
Loving it.
So there you go.
So good.
First time ride on the big one for Natasha. And what's your name?
Harry.
Harry. They're from Derby.
Yeah, from
They're
Derby.
American Adventure, if you remember that. We've just had a bit of a ride marathon. So because there's no queues at all, we're literally just dotted around a few rides. So we went on the Skyforce Red Arrows ride, just behind me there, which didn't spin hardly at all. I mean, probably because I'm rubbish, but it's not very breezy actually. The wind that was really bad this morning has completely gone, which is weird. And then we just had a ride on Steeplechase, which is the unique single rail horse ride, which is a bit meh now. It's a bit jolty, shall we say. But Stephen did beat me, by the way, in the race. You did win, didn't you? Only just. To be fair, it's not much. But it's a bit jerky, that one, isn't it?
You know what? It was actually a little bit freaky because you can be on the horse all on your own on that ride, and when you get out on that track and you go up the hill and you start going around these bends and it jerks you around, it's a little bit, you know, it's not the most gentle ride.
No, it's a little seatbelt. But it's enough. I mean, I didn't hold on at all. So you can stay there, it's just, yeah, anyway. We need a drink, we're absolutely gasping, so we're going to get a drink and then we're going to make our way onto Revolution, I think. Yeah, we're going for it. We're going on the Revolution. The worst part about this ride is the amount of stairs all the way to the top, because the station, if you've not been on it, is up there. So you've got to walk up to the station, which is quite unique. But there's the steeplechase that we've just been on, the horses. It's quite a long ride, that, actually. Yeah, the 250 steps or whatever it is to the top. Whew. Yeah, you get some really good views, especially of Nick Streak, which is right there. You used to be able to see the traumatizer at Southport back in the day, but that's now here, so you won't see it any longer because it's here. Stephen's behind me. We're at the top now, thank God. Whew. There, check out that view. So you've got steeplechase down there, Icon, the big one. Okay, let's go. We're heading over to Nickelodeon Streak, which we'll probably remember it as the roller coaster.
Yeah, the roller coaster, yeah, and it was the tamest of the wooden roller coasters.
Yeah.
So, well, the tamest of the big ones, because they have got the mini dipper as well, which used to be called the mini dipper. I think it's called the Blue Flyer now.
Yeah, Blue Flyer.
This one, but now that's the mini roller coaster, yeah. So.
But I used to like the Nick Streak or roller coaster. It was actually, even though it was the slower one, it was actually a really good ride.
Yeah, I think sometimes the slower roller coasters are quite good. You know, they give you time to enjoy the ride. But some of them are so fast, you're in and out before you know what's going on.
And then we're going to go meet somebody for a coffee down near the flying machines, and then we're going to be right next to Valhalla. So we may, no promises, we may give it a go if we want to get drenched, but we'll see when we get down there. Okay, we're going to brave Valhalla. So you're going to see before, and then we'll show you after, when we're absolutely drenched. However, I've come prepared with 2 rain mats, so it might be a bit dry compared to what you normally would be. Anyway, we'll see you after, and we'll let you know what we think. I'm all ponchoed up. I'm doing it to keep my bag dry and the camera, I promise you. Stephen's not bothering, so you'll definitely see how bad Stephen is when we get off.
I'm absolutely dripping.
Oh, we just got wet again.
We're not even on the ride and we're getting
We're not even
wet.
on it and we're getting bloody wet. But no, that is a soaker, 100%. But it is brilliant. What a great ride that is. I mean, I came on it a few months back after it had just reopened, and because you get different rides every time, it was good. But that was even better because everything was working. Absolutely everything. There was so much atmosphere in there. What a fantastic ride. For the Pleasure Beach as well. I mean, the Pleasure Beach, to do something like that, which is like universal standard almost. You know, it's a lot of money, and it was bloody good. What do you think, Stephen?
Yeah, it was really, really good. And as you can see, I'm pretty wet. I braved it without a waterproof.
I did it again. We're already wet, so it doesn't matter. We need to get away from that fountain. We're gonna head on Avalanche since we're passing, and then we're gonna head to Icon and try get on the back row, because we haven't done the back row yet, or Stephen hasn't. He's only done the front. So we're gonna have a little go on Avalanche, the bobsled, Mack bobsled coaster, which is, it's a good laugh, it's good fun. Well, that's it. We've come to the end of our day here at the Pleasure Beach. So we managed to get one last ride on Icon at the back, and then we went on the big one. We had 5 minutes left, so we shot over to the big one and managed to get a nice ride on the big one. And then, as we were getting off the big one, he said, stay on, go around again. There's nobody sitting in your seats. So we had 2 rides on the big one in a row, which was fantastic. So we've had a great end to the day. I've had an amazing day. Have you enjoyed yourself, Stephen?
Yeah, it's been amazing, yeah, to come back to the Pleasure Beach after so long since I've been in here. And it just brings back memories of when we used to come here back in the olden days, you know, when we used to walk up the road. We were only about 25 minutes away, walk away. So yeah, it's been really good. I'm a little bit wet, but I've dried off a little bit. I managed to dry off a little bit on Icon and on the big one, but my coat weighs an absolute ton. Because it's absolutely so.
His coat's got double the weight on it now because of the water. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope Stephen's enjoyed himself today at the Pleasure Beach. He's got no excuse to come back now. I mean, he's literally half an hour away. But if you're not subscribed to Stephen's channel, it's called A Walk on the Wild Side, and I know a lot of you already know who he is, but if you don't, check his channel out for all things Blackpool. He goes everywhere with his camera. He's actually doing daily vlogs now, aren't you?
I'm doing a video every day at the moment. Yeah, I don't know
At the moment. I don't envy that, I really don't. But if you love Blackpool, check out his channel. I'll see you in the next video next week. Bye for now.
My grandfather thought some of the rides and attractions that he saw in Coney Island would do well in England. He came with the ride to Blackpool. He tried it out on the sandhills of Blackpool. It was a great success, and from that one ride, Blackpool Pleasure Beach was born. People said, oh, must have been a shilling for a roller coaster. Yes, said it's